Hello, hello. I'd fully intended to do a much more detailed review on some of these portable Bluetooth speakers that I'd purchased from Amazon, but my return window time's flown and I've got to return these like now, otherwise I can't get my money back. So this will just be a bit of a whistle-stop tour, giving my opinions on which are the best out of the speakers that I bought. So this first one is the W-King, the Wang-King D320. This one was, I think, 60 quid. IP67 waterproof and dustproof. Says it's a 40 watt output and it's got cool dancing RGB lights around the ring there if you're into that sort of thing. This sounds pretty good. Yeah, if I hadn't had any of the others, I'd have been well chuffed with this one. It's quite big. It's the biggest out of all of them. Compare it to the JBL Flip there. It's both wider in diameter and length and heavier. This one weighs 659 grams. Next one is the Tribit Stormbox, 24 watts power rating, extended X base it says, IPX7 waterproof, so there's no dustproof rating on there. No funny RGB lights or anything, not on any of the other speakers in this test. Says it's got a 20-hour battery. This one was 63 quid. Bit smaller than the W-King, very similar size to the JBL Flip 6, a little bit longer. This one weighs 526 grams, so a bit lighter than the W-King, 527. It's because I've got my scales on this not completely solid surface, but yeah, a little bit lighter. It sounds okay. Again, if I hadn't heard any of the other speakers in this test, I'd probably have been quite satisfied with that. A slightly older design. I think this one sounds a little bit harsh and tinny compared to all the others, so yeah, it's okay. Next up, the JBL Flip 6. I got this on offer for £84.86. I think these are normally still around 100 quid. Again, a couple of year old design, this one. Up to 12-hour battery life, rated at 30 watts output. Gotta say, I really like this one. I like the form factor, the size and the shape. It's easy to bung into a bag. That one's weighing in at 487 grams. Yeah, I like this one. This one sounds good. We'll talk more about sound of all of them in a minute. Then we've got the Soundcore Motion 300. This one was 60 quid at the time and is I think the newest speaker on this list in terms of when it was released. IPX7 waterproof, 30 watts power output. Got a detachable strap on there, which is quite good for attaching it to stuff. You can unclip it and clip it where you want, or just slide it through there. Yeah, that's good. Had quite high hopes for this one. It's turned out not to be my favourite out of these, but yeah, we'll look at that again in a sec. They reckon this one has got a 13-hour playback time and it weighs 694 grams. Bit of a fat beast, this one. And then lastly, we've got the Tribit Stormbox Flow. This one was 64 quid. This is IP67 water and dust proof. Oh, 25 watts it says on the Amazon listing. And this one's battery life is rated at 30 hours. So a massive boost in battery power for this one. These are all USB-C charging, but this one, the Tribit, can be used as a power bank as well. If the battery life on this one is over 50%, you can use it to charge your phone as well. That could be handy, I guess. And that one weighs in at 595 grams. So a bit lighter than the Soundcore. Yes, out of sorry for this brief review, not going into that much depth, but like I say, I'm a bit pushed for time. Otherwise, I'm going to have to end up paying for and keeping all these speakers, and I don't need to do that. So out of these lot, the Tribit I think had the least pleasing sound, quite harsh in the treble. So yeah, that one's out. W-King, that sounded okay, but it's much bigger and more cumbersome in shape and size than the others for no benefit to sound really, so that one's out as well. So the ones I really deliberated over with the JBL Flip 6, the Soundcore Motion 300 and the Tribit Stormbox Flow. I thought these were all pretty okay really. Initially I thought that I liked the Soundcore Motion best. I think with all of these, it kind of depends on the genre you're listening to, really. The Soundcore, I think, has more forward mids, and I enjoyed listening to like rock and things best on this one. And the bass on this one, although decent, the bass on the JBL is definitely deeper out of the box than the Soundcore, and the Tribit has the deepest bass of all of them. The JBL, to me, this one sounded best out of the box. I really like the design, the size and everything. It sounds good. The bass is deeper than on all the other speakers apart from the Tribit. So yeah, I really like this one for listening to hip hop. This was the star for hip hop for me, because the bass was powerful and punchy, and the treble was nice as well. I think all these speakers have an app where you can control EQ and things like that. The JBL app only has a 3-band EQ, bass, mids and treble, where something like the Tribit has a 9-band EQ. So I was finding I was having to turn the treble down, lower the treble 1 on the EQ app for the JBL Flip 6, otherwise it could sound a little bit harsh at higher levels. But yeah, I really liked this one, and this was the one that I was going to keep. But I spent a load of time, invested quite a lot of time into the Tribit Stormbox Flow. I'm playing around with the EQ, 9-band EQ, you can save presets and everything, which is dead handy, and it's got this button on the top where you can store 3 EQ presets on there, whichever ones you want, you can store them on there. So I like to listen to audiobooks and things like that, so I quickly press on there to my audiobook setting and then press again to go back to music settings. So yeah, that I really like about it. And the sound on this one, I had to do quite a lot of fiddling with the EQ to get it how I liked it. And I'm not entirely happy with it, I must say, but the bass on this unit definitely can go deeper than any of the other speakers in this test. Now, I'm not necessarily a massive fan of thumping, booming bass. I don't want thumping and booming bass, I want warm bass. And after fiddling with the EQ settings on this can sound absolutely lovely in terms of the bass. Warm, enveloping bass for stuff like dub reggae and things like that. This is easily the best in terms of bass response out of any of these speakers. So for that reason, and for the mega 30-hour battery, I decided, after a lot of deliberating, particularly between these two, but between these 3, this was the one I was going to keep. It's not perfect, none of them are perfect, but for a small travel speaker, yeah, they all sound decent, but I decided this was the one that I was going to keep. In the end, I've decided to send all those back, and I'm just going to keep the Tribit Stormbox Micro 2, is this one called? It sounds nowhere near as good as any of these other bigger speakers, but for a little travel speaker, it sounds excellent. 12-hour battery, I think, on this, but for travel and that, which is why I initially bought all these, yeah, this is adequate. More than adequate. A bargain, a great speaker. So yeah, all those are going back. I'm keeping that one. But if I was keeping any of these, it's a toss-up between them two. This one, for the battery, for the highly configurable EQ, for the EQ button, and for the fact that you can charge your phone off there as well. Yeah, they're all alright. None of them are perfect. Probably keep that one if any of them. Yeah, sorry for the shoddy review, but maybe that's been helpful. I don't know. Thank you for watching anyway. See you later.
It's a war zone.